This is a reverse grid for the top six. Russell Ingall on pole alongside Greg Murphy, Glenn Seaton and Tander on row 2, Lowndes and Scaife row 3, Richards and Longhurst the 4th row.
Yeah, what a great looking front row that is. Paul Radisich and John Faulkner, Mark Larkham and John Bowe, Stephen Ellery and Paul Morris out of 14, Larry Perkins and Brad Jones out of 15.
Row 9, Crompton and Bargwanna, Baird and Dougal McDougall, McConville, Donaher, Anthony Tratt and Trevor Ashby on row 12.
Steve Reed and Rick Bates in the colour scan forward. Peter Dulman and Rodney Forbes caught up in all sorts of drama in that opening race. Paul Wheel and Todd Kelly, after that great qualifying effort, ended up 30th. Stephen Johnson, after that power steering failure, he'll start right off the back.
For the Queensland fans who may be following the progress of Cameron McLean in the Greenfield Mowers Falcon, sadly he is out for the weekend. That car has developed some sort of terminal engine trouble. So Cameron is up watching this one and the next one from the corporate stands.
Well, it should be fascinating to watch this reverse grid in action. We saw a sort of inadvertent reverse grid, I guess you could say, at Winton in the previous round when the Holden Racing team didn't qualify as strongly as they normally do. And they started off row 3, but saw that phenomenal start by Scaife when he jumped through to 3rd position halfway around the first lap.
The clear and simple onboard camera with John Bowe bringing you all of the action in this one of several onboard cameras for our coverage of round 9, I should say, of the Shell Championship Series. Larkham, Brad Jones, Jason Bargwanna, Glenn Seaton and Paul Radisich will also take you on board for this one. Race 2.
Well, you saw the enforcer in that post-race interview. He's going to make that a very, very wide Castrol Commodore. Should be fascinating to watch, particularly if the Holden Racing team cars pounce on him. Glenn Seaton, fastest of the Fords, consistently on the rise. The second half of season 2000.
It really is, though, isn't it? There's no doubt. He's the quickest Ford by a long, long way.
Yep, giving the Ford fans a lot of heart. It's been very dry. Ford fans over the last few years. Let's see if they can turn it around today.
The calm before the storm. Race 2 set to get underway in round 9 of the Shell Championship Series. Lights go out. Murphy and Ingall. A great start by the Murph. Look at Seaton storming off the line as well. Stephen Richards fighting now with the Holden Racing team as we work towards turn 1. Ingall takes the lead.
Look at Stephen Richards, though, muscling down the inside. He splits the Holden Racing team duo. Great start by the second of the Kmart Commodores as this big field hustled through turn 2. Mark Scaife on the outside there as they head under the bridge for the first time. Under our track camera. And it's Russell Ingall in command from Greg Murphy with the Valvoline Commodore in 3rd.
Garth Tander doing a terrific job. There he is, right in behind Murphy. There's Seaton.
Round goes Richards.
Well,
was that, look, did Scaife touch him there? I couldn't really see. It looked like he did.
Plenty of damage on the front of Scaife's car. Saw when he just went out of shot there, the left front fender very badly damaged.
Whoa, look at that. It's more than a touch, wasn't it?
So, Russell Ingall, hasn't this sparked up the action? The enforcers leading this one from Greg Murphy in 2nd position. Garth Tander in 3rd as they thunder over the dogleg. Down toward Autotech.
Oh, look at the back of Radisich's thing on the side of it.
Well, he really has been in the walls all year, this man, the Kiwi. A lot of body damage. Hopefully that won't cut the tire and he can continue racing. Up onto the main straight for the first time. Ingall it is from Greg Murphy. Garth Tander, Glenn Seaton, Craig Lowndes, Mark Scaife, Paul Radisich. And in behind the flying Kiwi is Paul Morris, the big Kev Commodore.
Morris storming up the order. In the older VS model, there he is in behind Radisich looking for an inside move. Radisich shuts the door, though, in the Shell Helix Ford. Out in front, Russell Ingall, the enforcer, from Greg Murphy and Garth Tander. Look at that damage to the front right. Now, let's have a closer look at it.
Look here.
It's looking out of Radisich's car. Boof.
Oh, look at Radisich tap up the bum to Scaife. Oh, and that's where he caught the... So it was Paul that ran up the back of Scaife, and then Scaife run into...
And then bang.
And JB taking a void in action.
Doing a bit of earth moving in the Cat Ford.
And Paul Morris was the big mover from that one, wasn't he? He read the situation very well, the Kmart team.
Well, Scaife was the meat and the sandwich there. That was a real domino effect. Got hit up the back, that ricocheted him into the car in front.
It's going to take more than a can of polish to saw that Kmart.
Oh, yeah, didn't a cop a hit. Here's our race leader, Russell Ingall, the enforcer in the Castrol Commodore. Greg Murphy, the increasingly competitive Kmart car, still not quite happy with the suspension setup on that thing, but it's getting faster all the time.
Oh, this should be interesting. Longhurst and Paul Morris.
Oh, Morris was very slow coming out of that turn.
Really lost him.
Tony Longhurst.
I think he may have a problem, because look at Larry's all over the back room now.
Fastest man on the track, Craig Lowndes, lap 2. He's sitting up there in 4th position on that leading trio.
Yes.
Ingle, Murphy and Tander.
Yeah.
Perkins.
Paul Morris must have some kind of problems going backwards.
He's let a couple through, hasn't he? Slip under our camera, over the bridge, down toward the S's. Larry Perkins on a bit of a charge here. Up to 9th position. That'll put him into 8th.
Paul Radicic into the pits. You can see the team there. Dean Orr at the front of the car.
You see there the R, see the R in Ford is...
The rim punctured the tyre.
Yeah, well, we were hoping that wouldn't happen, but that has punctured the tyre, unfortunately, for the Rat. So after a really storming start, has cost him dearly as he sits in pit lane just helplessly as this field runs away from him.
Stephen Richards has rejoined the field. You can see just a brief shot of him there a moment ago. He's out in front of Russell Ingle, who leads this race. Ingle had a word to him in between race 1 and this one, and he was saying that the power steering on his car actually went in the first race about midway through.
Oh,
Look at this.
Mark Larkham. Oh, he's hit someone somewhere.
Big hit on the back by Craig Baird in the Pertec Ford. So Larkham struggling here. His front spoiler is hanging down, scraping against the ground. So, look at this.
Dear me.
Fighting back on the inside of the Pertec Ford. He may have his nose dragging on the ground, but he wants to fight that great shot on the Network 10 cameras looking in the window of Craig Baird's cars. They go side by side across the bridge, down toward the S's. Fantastic stuff. Side by side, who's going to get in? Larkham has to back off a little bit. Big lock up there. Yeah.
Fantastic. It doesn't get any closer than that, does it?
Door handle to door handle. 2 of the Fords. John Bow wants to slice of the action too.
Yeah. Nice Ford. Oh, it's going to... Oh, and Todd Kelly hit the back of Faulkner as well. Look at this. Concertina City this time. You see the right front of Faulkner's. Oh, look at this lot.
Side by side as they come out of the main straight. Minor 10 Ford and the Caterpillar Ford go door handle down the main straight. 240 kilometres an hour on the approach. Wow. Larkham's front spoiler looks like it's about to break off there.
Oh, there's a big lump. It's just come off of JB's car.
Larkham's come through, so too Dougal McDougall in the Pepsi Commodore. There's Todd Kelly.
Oh, great stuff.
It's like a freight train here, isn't it?
Fantastic action from the V8 Supercars midfield. John Bow battling hard with John Faulkner. Pepsi Commodore Dougal McDougall's in there too. So there's a tremendous scrap going on here for 13th and 14th place.
Yeah, this is, you see this race, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Then you see the positions they're fighting for.
Todd Kelly from the rear of the grid has moved his way up to 17th position, so he's storming through the field. Jim Munro, driver profile. John Bow, who you're riding with at the moment, has had a year he'd rather forget in terms of the Shell Championship. The Caterpillar Ford is certainly looking good.
Yeah, they've got an experienced crew there now they're putting together. Alan Draper, ex-Dick Johnson Racing engine builder. Alan Heafy, former Gibson Motorsport team managers, come on board. They've got Jimmy Richards will be joining them for the Enduros. So real experience in the Caterpillar Ford team. As John Bow tries to shake this Asia Online Commodore off his tail.
Got some horsepower, the old cat.
Well, certainly has. And John Faulkner's not shy on horsepower either. They've got a brand new Johnson Racing engine in that car.
Oh, look at that. Up on the curve, he's going to get alongside the Caterpillar Falcon as they break hard under the bridge. Look at Faulkner though. Shuts the Pepsi Commodore of Dougal McDougall out of the action.
McDougall's looking left and right, isn't he? He wants any opportunity that may arise from this if one of them makes a mistake. Look at this, it doesn't get any closer, right into your living room.
Awesome stuff. John Bow, the 46-year-old Tasmanian veteran, 129 touring car starts, doing a tremendous job in this battle here at Oran Park. Currently placed 13th on the road, just an indication of the depth of competition throughout the field.
It's Larkham's thing.
Mark Larkham, though, with that broken front spoiler, he could not afford to limp on another lap without that working for him. It's costing him time, and I guess the officials would have been looking at it pretty closely too as a potential hazard.
I understand Stephen Richards in the second of the Kmart Racing Commodores has also returned to the pits. These two continue their battle. They swing up onto the front straight and over the start-finish line. Bow and Faulkner. Right now, Bow is in 13th position, Faulkner 14th, McDougall in 15th. Russell Ingle leads the way in the Castrol Commodore from Greg Murphy and Garth Tander. Big brake lock up there in the Pepsi Commodore from Dougal McDougall. The car seems to be handling a bit better in this race. They had some dramas. in the opening race, but they've made some suspension changes.
Back to the battle for second. Russell Ingall has opened up a few car lengths on them.
Look at his lap time. Ingall's the quickest guy out there at the moment.
I'll tell you what, there were some heated words between Garth Tander and Craig Lowndes at the end of that first race. Garth was a bit annoyed about Craig's tactics, accusing him of bumping him out of the way to take second place. So no love lost there between the Valvoline Cummins team and the Holden Racing team, number one, the reigning Shell Series champion.
In actual fact, when you think of Craig's year, some of these drivers have been very un-Craig-like this year, haven't they?
Yeah, it has been a topsy-turvy season for our champ.
It's been a topsy-turvy season full stop when you consider that Mark Skaife has only had 5 race wins. The opening race he took here was his 5th victory of the season. Craig Lowndes, by comparison, has had 9 and yet sits well down in the championship order compared to his teammate.
It does really make a lot of sense, doesn't it?
All to do with those big double points races, and of course another one of those not too far away, folks. The Queensland 500 only a few weeks away.
Well, the fans will be loving this. A bit of variety as a result of a top 6 inversion at Oran Park. Introduction reverse grid racing for the sprint races working pretty well so far. There's plenty of action, as you've seen.
Skaife, his quickest lap, last lap.
Talking about Russell Ingall there. In the early part of this race, he was saying that in race 1, the power steering completely packed up about midway through, and he had to fight the car. He said the steering was rock hard. In some corners, like this one here, where you bring it up onto the front straight, he had to use 2 hands and yank the wheel down to try and turn the car in. So he did well to hang on to Greg Murphy in that battle for 6th.
Yeah, they are real monsters, aren't they? They've got these enormous 11-inch wide tyres, this big cast iron V8 hanging over the front. A lot of steering load required. Greg Murphy right on the limit. Garth Tander giving him plenty of pressure, just a bit of a kiss on the rear bumper.
Yeah, when
losing
your power steering, there's nothing to be terrible, because once you've been used to doing 5 or 6 laps with power steering, all of a sudden you haven't got it. It's not like starting out with no power steering, because the laps wouldn't be so bad.
You end up looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger at the end of it.
If you just join us, Russell Ingall leading the way in this one from Greg Murphy. Garth Tander in 3rd place in the Valvoline Cummins Commodore. Then it's Lowndes and Skaife, Seaton Longhurst, Jason Bargwanna up to 8th, Perkins 9th and Brad Jones 10th. So there you go. There is how they stand at the moment. Midway through race 2, and what a ripper it is. Ingall from Murphy, Tander and Lowndes. Further back, look at that. Brad Jones, a stunning performance up to 10th, and only gets better right after this. We are back at Sydney's Oran Park Raceway, round 9 of the Shell Championship Series. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching around Australia, all through TV1 in New Zealand. Russell Ingall hoping to get back in the winner's circle. His last race win came in the 3rd one of the day at Eastern Creek, also in Sydney here. Could he be on course for another one right now?
I'll tell you what, this is just an indication of how crucial qualifying is in V8 supercar racing. Like, a lot of people would have expected the Holden Racing team cars to come storming through, but the level of competition at the top is so high that if you don't get one of those top 4 starting positions, it's very, very hard to pass, particularly amongst the top 10. It's so evenly matched.
Yeah, I agree. And if you look at Murphy now, Murphy's stationed in 2nd, not really having any problems, is it? So, as you say, you can't afford. I mean, if you're not in the first 4, you can really going to need a lot of luck to get up the front.
They have made some changes to the Kmart Racing Commodore between race 1 and race 2. They've endeavoured to change the car to dial out some of the power oversteer that Murph said he was suffering a little bit from in the opening race. Great shot as they swing underneath or across the top of the bridge there.
That's the right-hand rear of Lowndes' car is touching the mudguard.
Mark Skaife. Critical race this. Everyone knows we count down to the FAI 1000 at Mount Panorama Bathurst. The final round of the Shell Championship Series, carrying double points. Just looking into that tremendous battle he was having midfield. He's ended up out on the rough stuff, right to the back. So once again, John Bowe has to fight his way through the field. It's been a pretty difficult year for the Caterpillar Ford team.
It really has, and when you think last year they came in, everything was going great for them, you think, they're really going to be a force to be reckoned with this year, and it hasn't gone so good.
He's been turned around plenty of times. He's been involved in a lot of biffo.
Darwin springs to mind there, doesn't it?
Usually ends up on the receiving end. Let's have a look at the replay, Baz.
Dougal going for a gap that wasn't there.
God.
Yeah, I have to say there was no room there, that's for sure.
A little ambitious. from Dougal McDougall. Lowndes, defending Shell Series champion, in 4th position behind Garth Tander, and now Dougal McDougall coming into the pits, in fact. So
might be serving a
slap leg situation, maybe.
See if he goes down to the end of pit lane.
Bear in mind, Todd Kelly was relegated to the rear of the grid for the start of this one for a similar moment with Jason Bargwanna.
That would have been too quick when you think about it.
Let's go. Oh, look at that Garth Tander. Puts a big scrape along the concrete wall as they come out of Autotech corner onto the main straight. Mark Larkham now with his new front spoiler fitted. Finds himself in behind Stephen Ellery. Right back there in 28th position. But it's not been a good day for the Mitre 10 Ford team. Just could not sort out the car in qualifying. It's what a lot of these teams with the AU Falcon, we were talking about this car's inconsistency. The difficulty, I was talking to Mark's team manager, Adam Perry, earlier, saying the difficulty of being based up in Queensland is you test 2 test tracks, Lakeside and Queensland Raceway. So many times they go testing at their home test tracks, they get the car absolutely on lap record pace. You come to another track and it's nowhere.
Yep. Such a difference in terms of the feedback they get from the car. Yeah. It's very, very difficult.
Here's our race leader.
Eagle is just pulling away. No problem at all. 0.6 of a second he pulled out in that last lap.
3.1 seconds, the lead over Greg Murphy in second in the Kmart car. Those top 5 positions have remained the same. Glenn Seaton. Glenn Seaton, though, I think he's closing the gap, is he?
Oh, that's Craig Lowndes. Lowndes has gone around.
Wow. Not sure what happened there.
Dear, now, that looks like there's a deflated front left there. I wonder.
No, it looks like the steering arms. I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
All the Ford fans down there at the... Oh, look at this, up the inside goes Scaife on. Garth Tander wants to argue. They're going to go side by side under brakes. He just tucks the nose of the Valvoline car in there. Glenn Seaton has come out of nowhere, just chipping away at the lead here. He's got right onto the back of this leading trio.
Look at Seaton having a look. Can't quite get close enough.
So, all of a sudden... So Russell Ingall still leading this one. Greg Murphy in second. Garth Tander now moves up to third. Look at these 2 Fords hustling behind the Commodores. Glenn Seaton in the FTR XR8. Tony Longhurst in the Caltex Haviline example.
4 Fords currently in the top 10. Seaton, Longhurst, Brad Jones and Craig Baird now.
Oh, what was that, mate? Oh, a touch, obviously. Oh. Craig touched, who was, that was Garth, wasn't it? Yeah. Garth at the backside by the looks of it.
Not sure. I have to look.
Yeah, I think so. Because why would Tander have got out so wide?
Really interesting situation. Look at that front tyre. Look at the front tyre.
Yeah.
So that's probably been cut against the guard. Well, what a surprise. Craig Lowndes taken out of action in race 2. Mark Scaife still there. The Holden Racing team continuing to fight for position, but it's real topsy-turvy at the moment with Lowndes dropping out. That moves Tander up the order 1. Glenn Seaton in 4th, Tony Longhurst 5th, and Jason Bargwanna, can you believe it? This guy a fighter or what? He got taken out of the battle early in race 1. He's up to 6th position. Incredible.
Don't forget, there's still lots more coming your way right here on your home of motorsport. Next Sunday, trackside, don't miss it, between 3 and 5. A whole host of action from GTP and Nations Cup, Formula Ford and Formula Holden, all from Oran Park here. As we jump aboard with Jason Bargwanna, the walker-in car.
He's the fight-back king, isn't he?
How good is that shot now? Fantastic. And you can notice at the top of the screen there.
Broken, I'm sure it is. Look.
Well, major damage to the front left corner of Craig Lowndes' car. He slides it down pit lane. Go back on board with Jason Bargwanna. Now, this is a slightly different version of what we showed you in race 1. This is with a wider angle lens, and isn't that an incredible shot?
You'll notice there, as we get 2 laps left to go in this one, that you can see the word Vicky to the top of your screen there. The boys in the team have christened this car Vicky. We're not quite sure why.
Oh, I know why, but we can't mention it on television.
It's a bit of a good luck charm, shall we say? So Bargs continues his way around. And what a fight back. That's quite right, Mark. 7th position.
That is just incredible.
It's good for him, look, though, because Mark's got a nice clear road in front of him. And
be clear and simple. Onboard telemetry shows you what's going on inside the Valvoline Cummins car. Road speed on the left-hand side of your screen. Engine revolutions on the right. If you look at that panel in the middle, there's brake applications on the left. There you see the brake lights come on. And gear selection on the right.
Hope you're enjoying the ride at home, folks. It doesn't get any better than this. Right on the shoulder.
That is a fantastic view. I hope you get that sort of a ride around Mount Panorama. It would look spectacular.
Looking at the time clock there, it looks as if Scafie's pulling Murphy in.
Well, we'll watch with interest as we're counting down to the end of this one. I'll get the last lap board to go this time around. Russell Ingall leading the way. Look at this, the gap between Murphy and Scaife has closed. Scaife in third place, Murphy in second. Russell Ingall in the Castrol Commodore has cleared out quite a distance. There is Garth Tander in fourth position. The battle for top four rages between Seaton and Tony Longhurst. Don't forget the next round of the Shell Championship Series only a couple of weeks away. And you won't miss a moment of the action right here on Network 10. Calder Park in Victoria, Sunday the 20th of August. Murphy locking a break there on his way home. Scaife ever so close. There you go. Tony Longhurst in the Caltex Haviland Ford. Working towards the end of this one. Glenn Seaton under all sorts of pressure from Longhurst. Out in front, it's Russell Ingall in the Castrol Commodore, on course for his second victory of the season. Look at Seaton riding the curbs in the Falcon. But the checkered flag is at the ready. Russell Ingall moves back into the winner's circle, and it's a welcome return too in the Castrol Commodore. The fans here at Oran Park cheer. They love the enforcer. His second race win of the season. Second to Greg Murphy, hanging on only just from Mark Scaife. 0.3 of a second in it between those two. Garth Tander in fourth position, and Seaton the first Ford home.
That was a great race. Really enjoyed that. That was definitely the business.
Well, proof in the pudding, I think, that reverse grid racing can work. Some might say that reversing the top 6 is not enough. If only we'd reverse the top 12 or something, maybe even the whole field. How good would race 2 have been?
Exactly. You know, it just goes to show what Mark was saying about the qualifying thing. This series now is so competitive that it just shows you. There it goes. Ingall's won that by 3.2 seconds.
Well, the crowd here, and there's a huge crowd at Oran Park loving it as well. What about this kid, the fight back king, Jason Bargwanna, winner at the previous round in Winton. Had a rotten start to the day, but he has not let that affect him. The kid is running high on confidence, Jason Bargwanna. Kept a level head and charged his way through the field into 7th position. Another big mover as well. He's made some decent suspension changes in a bid to make the package handle better was Brad Jones, and hasn't it paid dividends? He finished in 9th position, one of the best results for him so far this year. Well done to the Aussie Male Ford team, finally making the inroads that they've been hoping for. Ingall, your winner. A well-deserved winner too from Murphy, Scaife, Tander and Seaton. Longhurst. And there's Bargwanna, who worked his way up to 7th. Larry Perkins in the second of the Castrol Commodores in 8th. Brad Jones, a well-deserved 9th. Baird, Faulkner, Morris, Kelly, Johnson and Paul Wheel. Trevor Ashby completing the top 16.